Sometimes we throw out a term like self-pity with little thought or any meaningful consideration about what it is that we mean by the term. And sometimes without really thinking in relation to the real unchristian nature of what it is that we are describing. Broadly speaking, self-pity can be described as a self-absorbed unhappiness or sorrow over one's own hardships, accompanied by a sense of being unfairly treated or uniquely burdened. While moments of sadness and frustration are a natural part of life, self-pity represents a prolonged dwelling on one's misfortunes and a perception of oneself as a victim. It's subtle, you know, but it's very destructive. It masquerades in some form, usually trying to present itself as a posture of humility at times, but really it's pride turned inward. It's an inflation of the self that rises up, magnifies our suffering, and isolates our souls away from others and, more to the point, away from God. We begin to question the goodness of God. And it needs to be distinguished from things like real lament, biblical lament. There are times when you see a real lament in the soul of God's people. Something has happened, tragedy in the nation, tragedy in the home or the family, and is expressed in lamentation. But the distinguishing factor between biblical or spiritual lament and self-pity is that real biblical or spiritual lament turns to God, looks to God, recognizes the sovereignty of God, and begs for the help of God. Whereas self-pity immediately looks inward, starts wondering, why me? And reflecting upon the misfortunes of self without expressing faith toward God. It is often paralyzing, a kind of slow-working poison that will, again, if not checked and repented of, will be devastating to the soul of those that feel it. It can lead to forms of bitterness and even to despair.